Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Pawn to Pro, where we'll take you from beginner level to IM level in chess. If you are new to chess, this is the best platform your phone. We'll continue our beginner lesson, and this time around we'll be doing the bishop movement on a chessboard. So this is a bishop. This is a bishop. Bishops can usually be identified in a typical chess set by the notch in the hat. Or top of the piece. The bishop is often the third tallest of the pieces next to the king and the queen, and can also be identified by the fact that there are two bishops of each color in a chess set. I'll explain that in a bit. In a chess game, a bishop always moves diagonally. Remember in our first lesson concerning the chessboard, we talked about diagonals, and now this is the time to apply that lesson. From this position on e5, in this 2D version of the chessboard, the bishop can move to any of these squares. So it can move this way, move here, or I can move here if there's no piece obstructing it. Note that at the beginning of a chess game, both sides have one bishop on a light square and another bishop on a dark square, because they are limited to the color of the diagonal which they are on. So for this game here, the white pieces, there is a light square bishop and dark square bishop. The black pieces, a light square bishop and a dark square bishop. So each opponent have two bishops, one on a light square and one on a darker square, one on a light square and one on a darker square. Here is a bishop on c4, and this bishop is on a light square, so it only moves on a light square diagonals. This way, this way. Note, this bishop cannot move this way because it has been hindered by its own piece. Bishop do not jump over other pieces or its own pieces, so it's been hindered. You can move this way. You want to move this way and this way, where it's being hindered by its own piece, friendly pieces. Now, look at this bishop on f6. Its movement is being hindered by one of its opponent piece on c3. When one of your opponent pieces lies in the path of your bishop, you may not jump over it, but you can capture it. So the bishop on f6 captured the knight on c3. The bishop is considered to be only a moderate strong piece. Why? Because it's limited to one side of the board. If you have a black bishop or a dark square bishop, it only moves on a darker square. Now, when we say darker square bishop, it doesn't mean that the black pieces. It means the bishop is placed is moving only on dark square, and light square bishops move only on light square. So both teams have darker square bishop and lighter square bishops. We'll now do some drills on a bishop movement. In this drill, the white bishop on d4 can legally move to only one of the highlighted squares. Can you tell which of these highlighted squares the bishop can move to? Now, let's go over it. The bishop, the white bishop on d4 is a dark square bishop, so it moves only on the dark square's diagonal. So it moves like this. It moves. Now, let us identify the highlighted squares. This is one. This is another one. This is another one. Now, can this bishop move to this highlighted square? Of course, the highlighted square is a darker square, but this bishop cannot move there because it's being obstructed by this enemy piece. And for this bishop to move to this highlighted square, you need to make two moves. Come this way and this way. Now, for this exercise, we want to know on a single move which of these highlighted squares can this bishop move to. So obviously you can come here, you have to move this way and move this way, two moves. To come to this square, move this way and move this way. So the only square you can move to on a single move is G7.
Correct.
More drills. Only one of the bishops can move to one of the highlighted squares. Where are the highlighted squares? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And where are our bishops? There's a bishop on lighter square. There's a bishop on lighter square. There's a bishop on lighter square. There's a bishop on darker square. Light, light square, dark, dark squares. Now, our highlighted squares are both dark squares and light squares highlighted. So which of these bishops can move to one of these highlighted squares? So go over process of elimination. We'll start with this bishop. It's on a darker square, so you only move on dark square diagonal. So it moves here, it will be obstructed by this pawn, and it will be obstructed by this pawn. So this bishop can move this way. This is not a highlighted square. Let's go to this bishop. It's on a darker square as well. You can move this way, and then come here. But one only a single move. So move this way and come to this highlighted square. So this is out of the equation. We'll try this bishop, move this way, we come to this highlighted square. So we're not using this bishop. So the bishop that can move to a highlighted square on a single move. So we'll try this one. Move. Yeah. See? From here. The highlighted square. Move here.
That's correct.
More drills. Only one of the bishop again can move to one of these highlighted squares. This is a highlighted square. This is a highlighted square. And this is a highlighted square, as well as this and this. So we must identify our bishops. So these are the bishops here, a letter square bishop here, and another letter square bishop here, and this is a bishop, and this is a bishop. And sometimes that's how a typical chess game will be. the board will be crowded, and you have to look for the movement of the bishops. So getting this bishop to this hazard square is not a single move. You have to come this way, come this way, and come this way. Even you are being obstructed by your own piece. Let's try this bishop. On this bishop path, there are no highlighted squares. Let's try this dark square bishop. On this bishop path too, there are no highlighted squares. And let's try this bishop. This bishop moves only on the white diagonal, so it moves this way. And this is a highlighted square. So move this bishop to this highlighted square.
That's correct.
More drills. The same rubric. We have highlighted squares on the board, and we have to move one of these bishops to these highlighted squares. So these are the highlighted squares. And these are our bishop on a light square. So this bishop moves on light square. So as you can see on this bishop path, there are no highlighted squares on this bishop path. This bishop is a dark square bishop. It moves on a dark square. There are no highlighted squares on the bishop path. It's even being obstructed by the rook and the king. Come to this bishop that is between the king and the queen, king and the queen and the knight. This bishop is a darker square bishop. It moves on a dark square. So on the diagonal, the darker diagonal here, there is no highlighted squares. And then we go to the last bishop on A8. It moves only on a lighter square. And so as we check, there's a highlighted square. And so we'll move the bishop to the highlighted square.
That's correct.
More drills. This time around, we have to click or mark all the squares this bishop located on d4 can move to, including capture. So this bishop is on d4 and it's on a darker square. So it moves only on dark diagonal. So it can move here, and move here. It's being obstructed by this one piece. It moves here. It's being obstructed by this piece. So again, you move over this piece. It moves here. 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 And that's it. So these are the highlighted squares this bishop can move to. More drills. We are to identify all the squares this bishop can move to, including capture. The bishop is on a lighter square, so it moves on a lighter square diagonal. It's being obstructed by its own piece. By enemy piece here, you can capture this one, move here, move here, move here. So this bishop here can capture this knight or this rook. So this is a white bishop movement. It moves on the diagonal, and this is an opening piece, so it can be captured. So these are the squares this bishop can move to. This way, this way, this way, this way. In this drill, we're gonna use the white bishop, light square bishop, to capture all the black pawns on the board on every move. And the pawns will not move. But we should make sure we capture them on every move we make. It should be a capture. So we have to think ahead and know our path. So this is the bishop. It's on a light square and it moves on lighter squares. So this is an opening piece. So you can capture this piece. So we'll go over the paths in our mind. So we'll go this way, come this way, go this way, come back this way, go this way, go this way, and come this way. So then we'll go about it now.
Correct. 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 Good. You got them all.
More drills continue. In this exercise, we are going to use the black bishop to capture all the white pawns on the board on every move. So we must think ahead and know our paths we'll be taking. So this is a black bishop. We have to capture all the white pawns that are located on the dark square. So the bishop is here. So we go over in our mind. Mm, 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 We'll miss this one out. So I'll be very careful. So come here, come this way, come this way, come this way. We'll miss it again. So be very, very careful. Come here, come this way, come this way, come this way. How do we go about it? So come here, come here, come here. So we come here, we come here. We'll take this pawn, we'll come and take this pawn, we'll take this pawn, we'll take this pawn, take this pawn, take this pawn, take this pawn, take this pawn. That would be the best move path. So let's go. So take this pawn, take this one.
Correct. 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 Good. You got them all.
That was a little bit tricky. Now in this drill, we are to capture an opponent piece with our bishop. In this drill, we are to capture an opponent piece with our bishop. So which of the bishop on this board can capture an opponent piece? So let's try the first bishop here on e7 on a darker square. It moves on dark square diagonal. So as you can see, there are no enemy piece in its path. So this bishop is out. Now I'll move to this bishop on a lighter square. It moves this way, and this way, and this way, and it's being obstructed by this its own pawn. So this bishop, there are no opponent pieces on its path. Let's go to this bishop on c1. It's on a darker square, so it moves on a dark square. It's being obstructed by this pawn this way. So there are no opponent piece in this path. And the last bishop is on a6. It moves on lighter squares. There's an opponent piece in this path.
That's correct.
The last drill. On this board that we're looking at, only one of the bishop can capture an opponent piece. So we have to identify that bishop and capture that opponent piece. So we check with this start with this bishop first. It's on a dark square. It moves on the darker diagonals. And as you can see, there are no opponent piece in his path. We move to this bishop. He moves only on a lighter diagonal or a lighter square, and there are no opponent piece on his path. His own piece, his own piece, and his own piece. We'll move to this light square bishop for the black, and we'll check its diagonals. There are no opponent piece on his path. So this bishop is out. There's a bishop here. We'll call this a fianchetto. It has been fianchetto. We'll learn more on fianchettos or openings. So this bishop is been fianchetto. So we're looking at this bishop. It moves only on dark squares. Are there any opponent piece on his path? Yes, there's a pawn on his path.
That's correct.
So in today's lesson, we'll learn about the bishop and its movement. We'll say that the bishop moves only on one set of color. So if it's on a lighter square, it moves only on a lighter square. A darker square, it moves only on a darker square. Thanks for your time. Like, subscribe, share this video, and join me next time as we talk about the queen. See you.